Hi there, my name's Anthony, and today we're going to be talking about personal finance. Specifically, what is covered by an HSA. If you've never heard of an HSA or don't know what one is, actually this is a follow-up to a previous video which should be linked on screen now with a card and maybe even in the description down below, so that you can figure out what an HSA is. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. But before I go into what an HSA may cover, I need to go ahead and cover my butt. So here's the deal. I am in no way, shape, fashion, or form trying to give you financial advice here. This is all for entertainment purposes only. If you're taking advice from some random dude on the internet, you're doing it wrong. However, maybe this video might give you a list of things to research if you're interested in the topic of what an HSA may or may not cover in your case. Is my butt covered? I think it's covered. Yep. So this is a list of some really weird things that I found out were covered by HSAs. When I say weird, I don't necessarily mean weird in some sort of a bad or negative way. I mean weird as in, what? That's a thing? It's covered? Really? The first thing that caught me as kind of strange or odd or like, really? Was acupuncture. That's right, acupuncture can be covered under your HSA, meaning you can go ahead and squirrel away some tax-free funds and go ahead and get some acupuncture treatment. Though I've never really experienced acupuncture, I have done what's called dry needling, which is kind of like acupuncture, and I can definitely say I have seen some results from that. So I kind of get it. It can be a treatment. It's kind of cool. If you suffer from allergies, not only allergy medication, but also allergy treatments can be covered under your HSA, which is really kind of cool because it's stuff you probably would have bought anyway. And you get to save, whatever the tax would be on it. That's like that, the 22-ish% to the Fed. And if memory serves, and I have to check the video that I made previously, sales tax may also be taken off of that as well. If your teeth have done given up the ghost, don't worry, your HSA has you covered. You can use those tax-free funds to go ahead and get yourself a new set of chompers. No, these are mine. These are too messed up to be fake. Not only are artificial teeth covered, but also denture sealants. So that's kind of cool because that's a recurring like monthly or however often purchase that you got to make. So cool. I have always said there are two things in life that you don't cheap out on. Number one, your bed. Number two, your shoes. There is a reality out there somewhere where you can actually get a bed and have it covered by your HSA depending on your circumstances. In addition to that, things like arch supports and like custom footwear if you require those for medical reasons. Also like compression hosiery and like, compression socks and things like that are also covered. Even things like Band-Aids, birth control. Wait, that's right, I said Band-Aids. Oh no, wait, that's not the part you're interested in? Yes, that's right. Many forms of birth control can also be paid for using tax-free funds from your HSA. But here's one you probably didn't see coming that you didn't think I would mention. Dog food. Now here's the thing, it's not all dog food. But if you have yourself a working dog, your dog food can be paid for out of your tax-free HSA account. Because let's face it, if you need the dog for health-related reasons, it is a health expense. Which leads me to another thing. Though a working dog is not exactly a pet, it can also cover getting a pet, kind of, depending on how you treat your working dog. Guide animals, as long as they're registered with your state, may be something you can pay for out of your HSA funds. Even something like fluoridation treatments can also be covered. So, back to the teeth thing. I suppose there are probably non-teeth related reasons you might need fluoridation services. I don't know. Maybe? Braille books and magazines can also be paid for out of your HSA funds, which is kind of cool. It almost makes me want to learn to read Braille so that I can buy books and media and magazines out of my tax-free funds. Almost. That sounds like a lot of work, and I'm not sure if it would ever pay off. If anyone out there reads Braille, let me know. Would that pay off? Is that a valuable skill that I could learn? I'm always looking to learn valuable skills. So let's go ahead and talk about your peepas. Contact lens solution can be paid for with your HSA. Of course, just like everything else on this list, be sure to check your particular circumstances, see if it's covered. And if your eyes are really bad and you want to go ahead and get LASIK surgery, in some situations, LASIK can be covered by your HSA. There's something in there about when it's to promote the correct function of the eye, and I'm not really sure what that means. So you may want to do some research and see if it would work in your situation. Okay, and here's one that totally caught me off guard. Motion sickness wristbands. And look, here's why it caught me off guard. I kind of put that whole thing into like the bucket of quackery, Kind of like those like magnet wristbands that are supposed to help your balance or whatever that were all the fad like 15, 20 years ago. So if this is something that's actually listed by a lot of different places that would be covered by an HSA. If this is something that's worked for you, please, in the comment section down below, let me know that it works, how well it worked for you, and so on. I don't understand how that works, and I would love to hear from someone with firsthand experience about that. So yes, please, pipe up in the comment section down below, because maybe, possibly, this might not be the quackery that I once thought it was. For those of you out there who smoke, that's right, your HSA can actually help you kick the habit. There are some limitations on that one in particular, but there is definitely hope out there for you. For people like me who have back problems or knee problems or joint problems in general, or even muscle pain, hot and cold packs can be covered with your HSA. They can be paid for with those tax-free funds. There's also some language that leads me to believe that there is a possibility that even your handicapped plates or tags may be able to be paid for in certain states and certain circumstances, that you may be able to use those funds to pay for that, because that would be something for your health. And I'm gonna make a lot of people really happy with this one. Even something as everyday and mundane as lip balm can be paid for with your HSA, well, with the caveat that as long as it's SPF 15 or higher. And here's another one that really caught me off guard. Lead paint removal, like from your house or your surroundings or whatever. You could like straight up pay for that with your tax-free funds out of your HSA. I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes sense, but it really kind of blew my mind that was listed, like that was a thing. How bad is the lead paint problem in this country? Like that's not even me trying to like make a statement or whatever. I genuinely don't know. Like, is it that bad that it has to be listed? And hey, what if I told you that you could have your baby paid for by your HSA? Well, okay, not the baby itself, but many baby-related expenses can all be covered under an HSA. I'm not gonna go into the very specifics here, but it's like a lot of baby stuff. Oh my goodness, all the baby stuff. Speaking of baby stuff, what if I told you that if you wanted to have your, your boys, you know, your sperm frozen, it would be covered. You could use your HSA funds to freeze your stuff there. Again, this is just one that just kind of blew my mind that's even a thing that's itemized and listed as far as being covered. There are a lot of other things that you probably would expect. Things like thermometers, sleep aids, massages and chiropractic care, first aid kits. But one that really blew my mind, but totally makes sense at the exact same time, are home improvements. Not the TV show with Tim Allen. Anytime you do a home improvement to do things like adding handrails, wheelchair ramps, things that would be required for health reasons, that stuff is all covered under your HSA. But there is the caveat that the repair or the improvement actually has to exceed the rise in your home's value due to it. So this is definitely one, you know, do some research. Don't just take some random guy on the internet's word. If you're one of those people who like Amazon's everything, shipping and handling for your medical supplies totally can be paid for using the tax-free funds of your HSA. You know, I probably should have put this in the teeth section, but mouth guards for, you know, your teeth and whatnot when prescribed by a doctor. Oh, also, prescription sunglasses and goggles and things like that, totally covered. And here's a really cool one. If you are planning on traveling, your HSA funds can be used for medical care when traveling outside the US. And the last one on my list, and this one just sort of like caught me off guard, but again, totally makes sense, incontinent care. I don't really want to use the word adult diapers because of a few different reasons, but just know that if you're in need of some sort of incontinence care, be sure to check and see whether that's covered for under your HSA. But hey, like I said, I'm just a random guy on the internet. Please do not take any of this as any sort of financial advice. This is just my musings, the things that I found out. Feel free in the comment section down below, help add to this list. Tell us your experiences so we can all sort of, you know, learn from each other and sort of maybe You might even bring up something that I want to make an entire video on. If you have any questions, comments, matters of concern, leave them all down there, and I will do my absolute best to respond to what I can. And even if I don't respond, keep in mind, I read absolutely everything. I'd like to thank 3 amazing people, well, 2.5, we'll get there. First person I'd like to thank would be Michael Scheisel, who has been supporting this channel via Patreon ever since we started doing Patreon way back ago. Thank you, Michael, you're a legend. Michael enjoys such perks as early access to videos. He enjoys extra updates, videos that I don't even post publicly on this channel that I produce for other companies and other things. He gets to see all of that really cool stuff. If you'd like to be like Michael, go ahead. There is a link to the Patreon down there. I appreciate everything and anything you can offer. Anything that you can do, I try to incentivize and to let you, give you some value to that. Second person I'd like to thank would be the editor of this video, Krysis. Krysis is an amazing guy. He edits these videos. He's the only reason I'm able to keep up doing all of this. He is an absolute legend. He actually has a Twitch channel, and I'd like to go ahead and let you know that if you follow the link in the description, you'll be able to follow him there. And he plays a lot of FPS games. He also, I don't know, he gets up to some derpery and some fun. You should probably check it out. He's one of the very few people that I actually follow on Twitch, and I suggest you give him a follow too. And the third person I'd like to thank would actually be you. First and foremost, for just putting up with my silliness and my derpery. Second, for understanding the mission statement of this channel, which is to give a voice to those people who want some financial education, but don't have, who don't have the problem of being in some of the higher tax brackets. It seems like every single YouTube guru that I see with YouTube finance, they are not from a position of starting from the very bottom. They're from a position of where they can go ahead, they can invest $5,000, $10,000 a month in this, that, or the other thing. They're not scraping from the bottom. A lot of us are. And again, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much. I understand many of you cannot afford to support via Patreon, but you support with your eyeballs, you support with your views. I would like to ask one thing though, if you're in that group, go ahead, turn that like button blue, just tap it, just like that. Except for if you tap it twice like that, you have to tap it a third time, just make sure it's blue. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, let us know in the comment section down below. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things that absolutely positively make me love my job. Also, be awesome to yourself and amazing to each other. Bye. Thank you so much for watching today's vlog. If you'd like to watch more content, that's on screen now. Also, if you'd like to support this channel, you can find a Patreon link at the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Next vlog,